hope you enjoy the show tonight. He told me the more I run, the closer I'll get to death, but he doesn't know that my flowers are fresh. They hold the same power as his gun. We grow together, shine our colors, then the dawn. Love, forgotten, wedged throat, choking on what could have been in my lymph nodes. May the earth soil support me in my quick feet to start all over again, shape a legacy with your opinions run down tear-stained cheeks, nowhere near me, dissipated hatred, and now I bleed peacefully. Search far and wide with your hawk eyes, try all you like, but if you find me with roses in my right hand, daisies in the left, bury me with violets and try to forget my bluish hue that day in Malibu. Lay me to rest and start anew. Surefire labor bound to happen. A memory comes back as I drip red by accident on the white towel. Why did I select the white one? At a pinpoint of time, fresh in love, but oh well, too late, it's done. She was innocent, wasn't she? Lies lost in the mint air of paradise. Garden of Eden, of love and vices. How should she be aware of deceit in something that claims to be flawless? Illiterate in the language of lies, she is but the first of the divine, the equal child to he, or so I'd like to believe. I picture her as me when I was naive, cartwheels and fire smiles, sweet, innocent Eve. How could it be that she should fear death? She had but a few short breaths before her damnation, and maybe God should have been more prepared back then. And each time I fled, I would often pretend I was never broken by your thieving hand, and my body and I situate ourselves back together again. A cycle that is reprehensible and relentless. I gaze at my shower ceiling, curious if Eve felt this. A sort of crazed storm of archaic guilt that demands to be felt. The wilted character of potential of Mary's fetal altar, fading flower petals in chaste southern air. I'm whole now, and I'm stronger. Allow me the honor of resting my noxious head to your healing chest. I hope you realize I'm doing the best I can with what you left. Godliness, girlishness, my sedulous shame hangs from your lower lip, cursed as the darkest sin. The harbinger of hedonism, the temptation to flesh, to man, something to overcome, something to conquer again and again. Girlhood, how I came to be. Clung to the very thing that pushed me away. I always pursued fragile beauty, femininity, some peculiar reason, unbeknownst to me, maternal figures in my life have taught me how much endurance rejection requires. Girlhood, passed down tragedies, tired. My own mother said the heat of my love was too much. Sweat and annoyance furrowed into her brow. My adoptive mothers who filled the void at a crucial time, blossoming into a young teen whose offspring broke me and glued me back together. Curse those sons, but the mothers, they came and went as quickly as the setting sun. Girlhood could have been a bride, should have won. Even now, as out of the way as I am, and the quietness I try to achieve, I still seem to provoke rage in my mother-to-be. I can't try any harder. Girlhood, smothering, would you rather? And then there are my sisters, friends with one and not the other. If you can call a friend a replacement mother. And somewhere along the way, on one summer day, I decided to define femininity as something quite sacred to me. In it I place my trust. In it I lay all of my love. Girlhood, the pure, persistent dove. Firmly, I clung to the flowers and shoved them in my hair, declaring nature as my mother and me as her heir. We talk every day, pastel yellows and blues, guiding and nurturing one girl, for I am her muse. And she taught me the biggest lesson in this life, this soul school. Girlhood, wisdom dreams, lay me to sleep, allow me to choose. Soft whispering she breathes. You are the God you need. The girlhood you seek is within thee, through the dark and back again. You'll be beautiful, I don't know when. Girlhood, happy endings, out of reach, just around the bend. I have my mother's hands. I have my mother's hands, plain in appearance, but oh so eloquent in writing. And before her transition into unrequited motherhood, she did write, and write childishly, full of dreams and a sweetness that only dies in a woman's womb. I wonder if that will happen to me too. I have my mother's hands, my fingers stop short, and I often gaze at the muted green veins that push against the surface of my skin. So thin, will they rupture? Well, I'm afraid it'll be more than just blood that spills. Inside of me is all that she is. Every voluptuary secret runs red and heavy and wet. I have my mother's hands, tender to the touch, yet so trivial and so unable to please oneself. I need to feel something, and I need to hold something, a desire so insatiable that only belonging to someone else can fulfill. A myriad of wisdom is held in just the tip of my left hand ring finger. Can my mother's hand pull the trigger? I have my mother's hands in mine. I squeeze them tightly, not gently, communicating the strength and rage that course in our veins. Metamorphosis. I'm not much in eyes of man and his majesty, not since my selfish metamorphosis, a butterfly of my own mind and crimes and sanity. My wild-eyed reflection in still water, avoiding plunder, I fly in careful patterns on the deaded lawn of one ever-standing tower. Far more bewitching than Bluebeard's, far warmer and yet just as sinister as the childhood myth. His king's hand promised to one sister of mine, primped and primed for her to metamorphosize in his right eyes, to become able-bodied in the hands of pompous husbands and devoid opinions. Discarded wishes drifted down onto the moat, as gentle as light itself. I rushed to save them for the day she remembers it shouldn't be this way. The moat was made to make sure we behave. His Majesty mistakes me for callow and at his mercy, fawn this way and that, a proper show and shallow, and I may appear demure, but I am rather withdrawn, cunning observation with hushed resentment tucked beneath my dress, a clandestine wooden door, solid as commandment 4, a wall so certain that surely a butterfly could not make her way, try as she may. My king, don't you know that fate is fate? I was always meant to find out this way, with my gaze settled on the disassembled legs and breasts against my will. His Majesty scorns me daily, thanks to my binocular, ever-bleeding key. Omniscience cannot be outwitted, so he caught me with ease. His hands, far larger than thee, a fool twice metamorphosed, placed me above the bed frame, splayed dirty with pinned wings, a symbol for all that is pure and takes torture to tame, left alive to behold the feigned tenderness bestowed on her stained bride from up high, like children closely watched by a man in the sky. He knew I'd go too far. He knows what is best for me, you see. Don't worry, sister, I'll mourn quietly.
It can stay on. I can't get it off. That's fine. Oh, there we go.
Okay, now we're good. Holy river, muddy water. Oh, holy river of fractured light, muddy water, flooded lungs, despite my best fight unsunk, vengeful, unadulterated intent, washing away the sin I sought without repentance. All that remains is a very pure, very young breath of life. It is unsure of itself, so it shakes as it stands and glances from right to left to right and back again, praying this is only the beginning, not the end. Spirit in the shape of a girl in a foreign land, once again. Predetermined seeds in my awareness, weeds in my arteries, tears in my bloodstream. Do you dream nightmares bleak, the echoing vastness of little old me? In my voice, soft and unstable, I plead and sobs to nature, my mother. Do make me smaller. Please, a little dewdrop on the riverbank instead, and out of my head with nothing but the soil as a bed. Mother, I can't go on as I am now. I am fatally human and senselessly flawed, endlessly dreaming of the stardust I once was. Ancient reflections, eerily specific visions come to me, and the colors of your stained glass window eyes piercing through mine, straight on through, onto a sad, maddened soul infected with decade-old hatred and true sin rotted, crimes against nature, crimes against women, crimes against me. Yet still I'm the one who kneels, inflicted with feeling too much. Time will do what it does, and it will see you pay for what you've done. Curse you dumb, curse you dry, dry as the bones you left of what I used to be, hung in your hiding place, and the weeds you don't appreciate returned to me upon sentencing. And what can I do except observate, circulate round and round the moon and its profound, complex nature, and I am but a simple star, gifted in only one thing, to illuminate the potency of your hidden fiends and beasts. Angel, devoid of wings, passing earth 4 times over, till the lesson of you is learned, the treasure trove is recovered, and I, your lover, can return to a warm, sweet simplicity, much like clove spice and honey. And not much left to do, really, but to revel in epiphany and welcome this feeling, this slow pace, slow fade of a brutal yellow stained glass window, at last out of sight, and all that is left is my very own holy light. What a river, what a life. Okay, this next one is my favorite off my album, and it's called Harbored Knowledge of the Seed People. I've spent the majority of my young life searching for saviors in the clouds of the rising sun. Surrealistic, oddly perfect skylines that were surely painted by delicate feminine brush. At least my mind at the time, yet to be molded by the men in my life, had faith that it was so. By age of 9, the time of entwining tyrannous ideas became something ritualistic. A progeny of the church, a child bride of purity, prepared for my destiny of submission, honoring the kissing of his feet. The most naive of 3, I spoke out of turn with a question that Father could never answer calmly. I asked if God was androgynous, if not female, and you said that was nothing but an old wives' tale, and God was undoubtedly male. Here's the thing. I know what it is like to not be believed, so I felt guilty for interrogating he, whilst imagining the wives who spun that tale, pleading with me to be the one that wields the key. See things accurately, they scream. Speak our truth, get on your knees and bow as low as you can go until your third eye is planted on the soil. These cries ring in my mind in the middle of the night, in spite of the prayers you repeated as you put me to bed. With a whiskey breath I'll recognize even after I'm dead. Tucked in tight, my eyes were unmoving, and my pupils burned a hole in the blackness of the sky. Millions of native swamp stars winking, as if they knew something I had yet to discover. Harbored knowledge of the seed people, of goddess humble. At 16 years old, hence declared a fumbled whore, of course, at age 18, nature, my mother, took her role as mentor. She hath no book, no mind, no punishable crimes, no guide. If there were ever a one true creator, shouldn't there be a womb? And wouldn't she be a she? Century-long fictitious smutterings etched a permanent frown in mountain peaks. Seas flooded with malefic tears, even salt and tar men, fear-stricken, drown in her mighty injustice. Dancing on the tips of her waves are ascended pagans, gluttonous goblins, creatures moving to the beat of their rage. as if her ocean is some kind of revengeful stage. With a haunting grin, we'll cut off your hair as you slit our wrists, as Delilah did, Lilith and Eve, Persephone and small-town me. With our stone-filled pockets, we shall still fly free. With a brief wish on a bay leaf, I pardon thee. My flowers turn from funeral necessities, Sunday-pilled reserves into something metaphysical, an ethereal hearse. I'll draw 5 crucial points of her star, with my spirit at its center, and the elements as the place at which my will enters. I eagerly chase the wisp of the girl I wish to be. Fire under her feet, wind beneath her wings, water streams sing dreams, earth in which she sleeps. Can I rest my head here, instead of the bed he laid me in? It is presently my 25th year, and with each passing minute since the quarter turn, the memory of your totalitarian teaching starts to disappear. And without any semblance of apology, I've gifted a forgiveness that is most sincere. Because if God taught me anything, it is that a baptism of resentment will tear you to shreds. And this is the one lonely lesson in my pagan ascension. This poem is a portal through time, if you're down to join me. Take me to the moon, take me to the moon, take me away from here. Metanoia, she calls me, her effulgent light that brings solace to melancholics for millenniums. Do you think she gets lonely or restless? I'll transmute the feeling, take me to the moon, I'll keep her company, I'll interpret her language for skeptics. They must know she's far more forgiving than the sun. Let's make a home of the moon, trade the air for smoke signal lungs. For if she had hair, I would bring sweet grass with me on my journey and braid it into a plait gently and for fun, so she could feel the touch of the world she so admires. And whilst she does, you stoke a fire for us, comfortable in her crater, with the most triumphant view of that town, and our moonlit persecution, our mortality. They may not be allowed to like, due to morality stance, but I do hope they still love some kind of frame of us. We are the youth, impetuous fire, violent delights, cross-country drive. We are the youth of squires, of poets that hide in short eyesight. Hand-spun mirages of camera flash bus, kissing the edges of Savannah earth plains with flighty trust. And now I look askance at our orange future with a clammy hand on gas pump. I often worry for our juvenile escape. Ignorance is bliss, and so is your blind faith, your golden sun face at a Motel 6. Before we departed, I warily wove the magic of safety without trick into a blue velvet drawstring enclosed with chrysanthemum and folded between the pages of my poetry in a glove box overstuffed with ghost things. As we pull into park at the caravansary, I catch you stealing furtive looks at me. With a stick shift backfire, you pray our lives won't sound the same as the startled landscapes, as the Arizona dust we left disturbed, with footsteps traced and whistles to be heard. My ears still prick up, even after everything, even after I was dubbed a runaway. Capulet justice and Montague pain packed in my suitcase. My lids are heavy from the never-blinking awareness of a road less traveled, so you lead me up to room 38 with a view of your bare fault line veins and our damned America in vain. Drifting to sleep as you hold and speak maritime homes into my malleable dreams. I hope you never leave me. Both children of poverty, food and shelter, we had plenty, you see, but rather a love missing, a protector lost, a guardian hurriedly running. And when she calls, it's better if you give stonewall answers as to keep me from flying off the balcony, off the handle with the money and the scandal. Do speak again, bright angel, again and again, until I can scarcely breathe, until I doff my name and yours takes its place, till death comes here to hush us along. Love mourned in the morning with birdsong sorrow. We are the youth, the fatal youth of tomorrow, that of which tales are told directly from my pen. A pair of star-crossed lovers take their lives on the open road. Do you think I'll get into heaven? As I ponder the stars hung with care in the sky by a guy I used to know, I was wondering if heaven awaited me on the other side. Lately it's been cold in California, and I wonder if heaven will be cold too. I'm not a creature of this weather, born of warm, womanly blood, fostered in an ice home. Maybe I prefer hell and its warmth. Do you think it's an inevitable ending? Do you think I'll get into heaven? I'm sweet as southern tea. I'm intelligent, I'm elegant, but not too elegant. I have a soft personality. My spirit in its totality is everything good and everything deserving of the blissful ice, everlasting peace, a treaty God signed the day I was born. I only subscribe to one idea and one idea alone, that everything is beautiful, and that in and of itself is God, and because you are beautiful, you too are God. So what other choice do I have in my ascension but to worship only me and my divinity? I swear I'm a good one. I swear you want me with you in the afterlife when the time is right, and I swear you want to marry me, worshiping for all eternity. My hair is long and it grows with me. It's black as night, except when the light hits it just right, fiery red, hot as embers, angel be born, January 23rd. Staring at my shoes as I walk, I'm training my eyes. I'm a woman who can't tear her gaze from the sky, asking why. Maybe once I die, I'll be able to finally look forward, parallel to the rest of the dead, and last in unison. You want me as your bride, laid down backside in the church of your mind, married by a priest to the king of my dreams, his breath molten like fire, feeding my sinful desires. I am a rabbit-hearted girl chasing after the father. Is this fate, is this dream space my resting place, or will I burn at the stake where women before me lit the match? The fiery nature of our breaths and blood and hair and love, our trust in its cruel design. Magical minds, cruel denies Jesus fucking Christ, and despite all the shame, I still try my hardest not to take up too much space. Quiet, proper, the people's daughter. Tricks up my sleeve that few see, laced with grief. Not an ounce of greed in my fragile pinky. Flesh be sold, poems of my heart, timid soul, now you know. So tell me, do you think I'll get into heaven? I've written many letters in my life. Most of them end up being unsent, and this is one of them, and it's also the last poem tonight, and it's called Last Words from Angel City. This is my final letter, unsent and unclean, return address in the heart of Angel City. My story lives in tandem with imported palm trees. Estrangement follows me no matter the coast. My presence since my very first steps felt invasive, always the guest and never the host. You don't understand me and you never will. Love is more than just my alias, it is my purpose, my national anthem, hand over heart, I pledge my loneliness as medicine through poetry. If you're reading, if you're listening, you must absorb my passion, you must digest my pain. Father, look me in the face of what you created. You took my faith with you into the slaughterhouse and past the sunset. A wielded crucifix like an axe, my destroyed penchant for pride. A dog put out of my misery, the shame lives inside of me. Your violence may be expelled and absolved, but by God, the aftermath festers in my diaphragm like cancer. My life, my time is so young and tempered. I'm nothing like you if you remember. Most would accept defeat and make a bed here, but I hopped the fence with scars decorating my legs and sprinted up the road less traveled. An example for the future children I won't birth, won't feed or find. I'll hold the mirror for the mice, the blind leading the blind. I'll become the mule, I'll carry whatever you bleed. One foot in front of the other with overripe wounds. I pray to have absolutely everything. A house on the hill next to the cross that sits ominous and overlooking. A kind acknowledgement from a stranger. An extra $1 for my supper. Suntanned shoulders from the beach. Friends I've made under the bridge to nowhere. Hollywood forever, dead but free. Bury me there. You see, I came to this city for specific reasons, and I have plenty. I've yet to meet my match. My justifications are different than many. When I walk down the tattered streets, I like to imagine my feet in perfect rhythm of the artist who paved the path before me. I'd like to think the creative genius that overcame them will somehow possess me too. I can make a home out of this earthly heaven like they did. I picture the ghosts of legends cheering me on as if their lives depend on it. I picture them bestowing a homecoming onto me in their essence. I function in a world of fiction. If I lived my life by facts alone, I'd succumb to my genetic addiction. Writing this letter, I'm lost in thought, sailing away on an idyllic sea, a bone in my teeth, furiously scribbling to suck the poison out of me. But there you are, with your one-sided dimple, smile, and empathy, pulling me back to reality as if I might break. The stakes have felt so high lately for us. Over a diner shake somewhere in Venice, you locked eyes with me to say, "Are you happy now that you're home?" With gold-tipped curls unwinding, framing your amber warm eyes, I tried to properly communicate that home was always, always, always in the vicinity of you, my dear love. You, my love, are the soil in which I've sown my violets. You, my love, are the tree I've eaten from and carved in. You are eternal, gentle, but by the love I've weaved through my journey, by the love in my very own chosen name. That was so much fun, but thank God that's over. I've been rehearsing nonstop to do all that off the top of my head. I thought I would need that paper for the last one, but I was like, you know what? I'll just do it, and I did it. So thank God. Those gorgeous, insanely beautiful background vocals you heard on that last one was Habe, who did an amazing set earlier. Incredible. Love her forever. Thank you guys so much for coming. I'm so happy to see all of you, and thank you for filling the room. I'm just like mind blown right now. I love each of you so much. Even if you don't know me, I love you. I'm going to be at the merch booth to meet everybody. I have CDs of the album you just heard and some poster options if you're interested. If not, we can just chat. That's fine too. But thank you guys so much.